Hello, folks. This is Ron Tyler with the Emergency Management Associates coming to you live from the crossroads of the West in Salt Lake City, Utah. Excuses for starting just a few minutes late. We had some technical difficulties again with Zoom. Doggone it all. Anyway, we had some technical difficulties with Zoom that we overcame the problem, but we're live on the air with you right now. It is 6:20 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time on Thursday, April 2nd, 2020. I want to start off with some earthquakes because guess what? I want to show you something. This is supposed to be Mount Rainier Voigt Creek. Guess what? I believe they came back on. Just a few minutes ago, they had cut us off. There was no image. There was no image here even 5 minutes ago. I've been trying to get images here for an hour and 45 minutes, and PNSN had it closed down. It says no image. I checked all of the volcanoes up and down Washington and Oregon. There were no images. Now we have them. Gosh, go figure. This is Mount Rainier, RVC, as you can see. There is magmatic infill going on. Heavy duties this morning from about, I want to say it started about 7:30 this morning. You can see how we had a blip here, and then we had some magmatic infill. Don't mind this blip that you constantly see on our program on the seismograms, because this is just one of the things that the machines are giving us now. But you can see the magmatic infill going on into the volcano. You can also see earlier or late last night, I can't say late last night, earlier yesterday evening, we have, what do we have? Venting going on. Venting going on, gas venting going on, okay? You can see it. It's very apparent. 1 o'clock this morning. This one's 2 o'clock this morning. We have venting going on at Mount Rainier. I don't see any venting this afternoon. That's wild. That's wild. So we had venting going on all yesterday evening into last night, and then it quit during the day. This, folks, is Mount St. Helens. Now, this is the only volcano that was visible to us here on the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network, the PNSM. Okay, we have a slight earthquake there. Then we have the machine malfunction, and we just have slight infill going on at Mount St. Helens. We got a small earthquake there, and then infill going on yesterday and into this afternoon, last night and into this afternoon. This small earthquake happened about 2:40 a.m. this morning, and we will show you the earthquakes over in Washington State in just a very few minutes. Let's go and check the other PNSN seismograms and see if they'll even allow us to see them. Because we've been trying, we saw some earlier today, and I thought everything was going to be great. But when I went to sign into PNSN again, all of a sudden they are gone. Gone. Okay, let's go over to Mount Baker. Okay, MBW. Come on, MBW, Mount Baker. It was also gone even within the last hour and 45 minutes. They were all gone. How about that? They've come back. Go figure. It is 5 o'clock, 5:24 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time in the Pacific Northwest. This is Mount Baker, Washington. Okay, as you can see, we've got some infill going on, some very heavy duty magma infill going on. And round the wheel goes, and where it stops, nobody knows. Look at what happened yesterday evening into today. This is Mount Baker. We've got venting going on. Look at all this venting going on, folks. It's all day today. We've got venting going on. I'm looking into, we may have even had some venting going on last night. It looks like we have some venting here, here, over here. And you can't tell here, well, we may have had some right in here too, but we can't tell in here because it's so full. Okay, let's go back one more day. Okay, day before yesterday here at Mount Baker. Bingo. Bingo. We had a 2.6 magnitude earthquake near Canby, Washington. Okay, we see that here. We see some heavy duty spikes. Again, these are probably, it looks like there's venting going on the day before yesterday too. And it's still going on. This is Mount Baker, folks. Mount Baker. Been venting going on there as well. This is yesterday evening into today. You can see the heavy duty venting and the magma infill going on at Mount Baker. Okay, let's go and take a look at another one. Okay, let's take a look at another one here. I wanted to have all these lined up so we could just look at them, but now we're having to go after them. Okay, let's go and take a look at Mount Hood. Just a half hour ago, an hour and 2 hours ago, even Mount Hood was not available for us. It said no image. Okay, we have some magma infill going on at Mount Hood. Okay, let's go back yesterday evening into today, and we can tell what's going on. And around the wheel goes, and where it stops, nobody knows. Okay, ignore that blip. We show some magma infill going on. Here's a blip here, 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 here. Ignore that one. Got some magma infill going on here. And now look, about 10 o'clock this morning, it starts getting heavier in here. Then about 1 o'clock this afternoon, 1300, we start getting some spikes in here. Okay. So Mount Hood is getting magma coming into the volcano, folks. Magma coming into the volcano. Let's take a look at Crater Lake. Okay, let's go over to Crater Lake. By the way, we want to welcome everybody that has joined us here in our chat rooms and who will join us later on this evening and even later broadcasts when you go and pull up our broadcast over on YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, DLive, or over at iHeartRadio. You'll be able to see us and listen to our broadcast, and we want to welcome you all here. It's a pleasure to serve you. It's a pleasure to be part of your lives and be able to help you prepare for disasters and emergencies. Folks, this is Crater Lake, okay? Crater Lake, Oregon, okay? Crater Lake, Oregon, Cleetwood Cove. You can see the heavy duty magma infill going on here at Crater Lake, okay? Let's go back to the day before. Okay. This is March 31st going into yesterday, April 1st. There's very little going on. It looks like they shut down the stream here, shut down the machine sometime after 7 o'clock yesterday evening. Okay, there's nothing here. It shows an earthquake here near Canby, Montana, or Washington, Canby, Washington. They're showing it here, but it's basically not showing anything else. It's not even showing the earthquake. It's not showing the seismic wave here, the spikes. Okay, they shut down the machine. They shut down the machine. Go figure. Okay, there was some magma infill going on the evening of the 31st. Now you can see it here. Okay, this is last night, April 4th, or April 1st, excuse me. April 1st at 5 o'clock in the evening, and it continued all day into today, and it's continuing now. So there's plenty of magma going on now. Now, I want to show you some other information that I picked up earlier today. People sent me the information. Oh, God. Oh, man. Guess what? Let me turn this off. Mammoth Mountain today. There's magma there too, folks. Magma there too. Let me pull up another one. We've got more than that, folks. We've got more than that. This is up in Idaho. This is up in Idaho. That's what we're looking at. You tell me where that came from. They want to try to tell us that there's nothing at all going on, and yet there is. There is plenty going on. They want us to believe that nothing's happening. That's why they shut those machines off until just now. Maybe they've been monitoring me and finding out when I'm pulling up the information. But folks, I don't think it's just monitoring me. I don't think it's just monitoring me. They're playing games. They're playing games with us. This is over in New Zealand today. Okay, we've been having some earthquakes over in New Zealand too. Okay, these are some heavy duty earthquakes in New Zealand. Let's see, what else is there here? Oh, I know what I wanted to show you. I was over messing around in California today, looking at the geysers. Remember me telling you about the geysers? Let me show you the geysers here. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, right now, the USGS is not showing the geysers, but they're showing an earthquake at Triple Junction. Let's take a look at that first. Okay, earlier today, and they say it's off the coast of Ferndale, but it's actually off the coast of Petrolia, California, right here. Petrolia, California is right here. Ferndale's up here. So this is probably right between the two cities on the Gorda Escarpment, the Cascadia Subduction Zone, and what's this? The San Andreas Fault, the Triple Junction. The Triple Junction. Down right here is Cascadia. Excuse me, Cascadia. I'm sorry, boy, I've got Cascadia on the brain. Right here, where you see my cursor, is the geysers. Now, before I show you the activity at the geysers that I pulled up this morning, let me first pull up the geysers and let you see what's actually going on at the geysers right now as we speak. We're going to go over to the EMSC map. We use the USGS and the EMSC map to follow earthquakes, because as we know, the USGS is not going to be truthful with us in regards to what we're seeing, okay? See this 10 plus right here? 10 plus right here? We turn down the lighting just a little bit here so you can see it better. It says there's 10 plus earthquakes over at the geysers here, okay? 10 plus earthquakes there. Well, folks, I told you that the geysers is a geothermal power plant that is there where man has drilled into the surface of the earth to pull up steam from the Clear Lake volcano. Okay. Guess what I was messing around? I got some pictures of the turbines at the geysers. That's one set of turbines. Okay. That's one set of turbines. There's another set of turbines at a different location. A different set of turbines at the geysers. Now you see all these pipes and stuff running around. These pipes go out to various locations where they're drilling, where they've drilled into the surface, and the pipes go down into the surface of the earth to pull the steam out, to send it over here to the turbines, to turn the turbines to generate electricity for the 4 different electrical companies that provide electricity for the citizens of Northern California. That's what those turbines look like. And those are at the geysers. There's turbines exactly like that over in just north of Carson City. Yeah, just north of Carson City. There's another geothermal plant up there. There's also one over at Cozo Volcano. There's also one at the Salton Sea. Okay, and these turbines look exactly the same at all of those locations. Isn't that funny? But the turbines go everywhere, literally go everywhere. Now, I'm going to pull up the map again. I want to show you the steam lines that run all over the place around the geysers that come over and feed those turbines. Okay. Okay, let me pull up the, let me go find the plant. I went right to another one of the turbine plant where the turbines are. That's another one. That's a third one. But here you see the pipes running from the turbines over to the field where they have I'm going to zoom in here so you can see this. These are the actual drill points into the surface where they're pulling steam out of the crust of the earth from the Clear Lake volcano. Okay, that's what the facility looks like. Those are the drill points they use to pull steam out of the Clear Lake volcano. Now, I also was messing around here early this morning. See, I don't get much sleep. I have nothing better to do, if you want to know the honest truth. At least that's what people want to tell me, that they sometimes think I don't have anything better to do than scroll around on the map, Google Map, Google Earth, and look for information to show you. Right here is Clear Lake. This is Clear Lake. And you'd think they would let you just, or let the people, let the companies pull water out of the lake to create steam. They don't do that. They don't do that. But they go down into the earth and pull it out of the volcano. Now, here is the volcanic plug that juts out of the lake. And every year it gets higher and higher and higher. That's the plug of the Clear Lake volcano. Just wanted to show you that. I just wanted to show you that. And yes, I work an awful lot to make sure you guys have the information you need to show you what is going on. Now, I showed you on the USGS map where we had that earthquake today. It said 1. Well, folks, we actually had 2. We had a 2.19 and we had a 3.02 magnitude earthquake. This is it's just north of the Triple Junction, the Cascadia Subduction Zone, the Gorda Escarpment, and the San Andreas Fault. This is just north of the Triple Junction. Right here is the Triple Junction. This was just north on the west side of the Cascadia Fault. This is the Cascadia Subduction Zone. And actually, this is right on the fault. Right on the fault. Let me pull out of here just a little bit more. There you can see it right there. You can see the fault running north. That is the line that's drawn that goes perpendicular to the fault so people can see it. But this is the actual fault of the Cascadia Subduction Zone. So these 2 earthquakes were right smack dab on the Cascadia Subduction Zone. It's clear. It's clear and telling evidence of what is going on there. You know, we continually try to find evidence of the earthquake movements that are happening that can show you evidence of the movement so you can tell what is going on. Yes, we are going to have a Cascadia event, but we're having small earthquakes on the faults. And we've seen that. We've seen 5.9 here just a week and a half ago. right smack dab on the triple junction. Now, we might think, and I don't know for a fact, that these might be aftershocks from that 5.5 or 5.9. Okay, but they are right on the fault. Right on the smack doggone fault. Okay, then over in the Mendocino Hills, Manton, California, we have a 0.99 today. Okay, it is directly east of the triple junction. We have a 0.99 magnitude quake right there, Mendocino Hills. Interesting, huh? And it doesn't stop there. Look at Gerlach, Nevada. Gerlach, Nevada. We had a 1.6, and it's also directly in line with the fault in the earthquake in the Mendocino Hills, and it's also in line with the triple junction. Gerlach, Nevada, Manton, California, and the triple junction. All 4 earthquakes right in line, right? Interesting, huh? Let's jump down to Carson City. Carson City, we have 10 plus earthquakes down here, just east of Lake Tahoe. We have earthquakes here. They're aftershocks. They're aftershocks of the 5.1 magnitude earthquake over near Carson City just a week ago. Aftershocks. And they're continuing. They're continuing. Now, before I continue with California, I'm also going to go down to the South Pacific because, yes, we have earthquakes down in the South Pacific, and that's where all these other earthquakes come from. But since I was showing you what was going on over at the geysers at Clear Lake Volcano, I wanted to show you this. Okay. Today, remember that earthquake just a few days ago over in Idaho? 20 plus earthquakes, aftershocks in that same area. +20. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 right there. Plus we have 9, plus we have 10. That's a lot more than 20 plus. Okay. It's a lot more. It's closer to 50. It's closer to 50. There we go. All up and down through that whole area, aftershocks. Naturally, we have a 6.7 magnitude earthquake over the top of a volcano, because down below this surface of this earthquake, what do we have? We have the magma chamber of the Yellowstone National Park volcano, the Yellowstone volcano. This is the Challis Lake area, folks. Okay, Challis Lake is the far west side of the Yellowstone magma chamber. And we're seeing that. Today we're seeing 2.70, 2.6, 2.5s, 2.5s, another 2.5, and I'm just randomly picking them, folks. Here's a 3.1. And friends, these may be 3.1, here's a 3.22, but folks down in Boise are feeling these earthquakes. I've got a cousin in Boise. Lisa, If you're watching our program, please give me a call. I would love to talk to you and have you tell people what you folks are feeling down in Boise. Here's Idaho City, a 2.6 near Idaho City, south of the earthquake. Okay, there's no fault up here. This is the Yellowstone magma chamber, folks. And down below the surface, there's magma. There's a volcano going on down there. Okay, from the north, I'm counting 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 25, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 35. I'm counting at least 35 aftershocks here. At least 35 aftershocks. On the far south end, we have a 3.0. Now that's a good earthquake on the south end of this event. Idaho City, 45 miles northeast of Idaho City, there's a 3.0. When we're getting threes this far south of Challis, I'm trying to find one of these. Here it is, 42 miles west of Challis, Idaho. Here's a 2. So way down south down here, this is a 2, and we're getting a larger magnitude down here of a 3.0 and a 3.2 over here, way down south. The earth is still reacting to that earthquake. That is what's going on over in Challis, Idaho. Let's go over to Yellowstone, Montana. We're still not seeing a lot of earthquakes around Yellowstone, the northern part of the Yellowstone magma chamber out near Ronan, Montana. We have a 0.7. Right here is a 0.7. Ronan, Montana. Quite a distance south of there, southeast in Butte, Montana, we have a 1.89. And southeast of there, over in West Yellowstone, 8 miles northwest of West Yellowstone, we have a 1.05. Yesterday we had 2 quakes. Today we've had 3. 3 over near West Yellowstone and north of there. Okay. That's what happened there. Let's go down to Salt Lake City, Utah. I want to show you what's happening here. Over on the northeast side of the Great Salt Lake, we see an earthquake, a 0.85 at Perry, Utah. A 0.5 at Perry, Utah. Okay, let's go over into Salt Lake City. We've actually got an earthquake over at the south end, the southwest end of the Great Salt Lake. We have a 2.40. Now, folks, this was a 5.7 magnitude quake 2 weeks ago today. 2 weeks ago today at 7:09 a.m., we had a 5.7 here. And yet we still can pull up a 2.40 earthquake here near Magna, Utah, 1.18, 1.73, 0.37, 0.64, 1.1, 0.46. Okay, this is a cluster of aftershocks right at the epicenter of the earthquake, a 5.7 magnitude earthquake here in Magna. Now, west of there, we have a 1.23 in Salt Lake City. There's a distance between Magna and here in Salt Lake City. Okay, let's look and see where this earthquake was. This is 4 miles west of North Salt Lake. This is on the Wasatch Fault. This minor earthquake of 1.23 is over on the Wasatch Fault. There's a small lake up there. And I've hiked up here once before. I've hiked up here. That's how come I know it's where that is. Okay, this is just south of there. This is west of the city. This is north and west of the city. There's the city, folks. There's a city and there's the earthquake. So the seismic energy has traveled about 15 miles. The seismic energy has traveled just about 15 miles west down the West Valley Fault here in Salt Lake, over by the airport. It runs east and west on the south side of the Salt Lake Airport. It runs between the Wasatch Mountains over here on the west, over here to the Oquirrh Mountains on the east. It's the east-west fault that runs from the Wasatch Fault over here at the Wasatch Mountain foothills, over here to the Oquirrh Mountains. Okay, that's where this whole thing went down. Okay, you can see over here at the foothills of the Oquirrh Mountains here, the foothills of the Oquirrh Mountains, west to the foothills of the Wasatch. The foothills of the Wasatch. Okay. There you go. So we have seismic energy going between where the epicenter of that one earthquake was, over here to the foothills of the Wasatch Mountains, Wasatch Fault. This is very interesting. Now, I was trying to get hold of a seismologist at the University of Utah because I want to talk to him. I want to see if we can get him on the air. If not, I want to see if I can interview him to let you listen to his conversation with me on tomorrow night's show. That's what I'm trying to make happen. Because we have something very interesting that's going on here that I've never seen before. I've never seen an earthquake seismic activity event that continues to move over to the main fault. I want to get their opinion on why that is happening and what is going on. See what a professional says. Okay, that's what I want to have for you for tomorrow night. Now, that's what I just showed you, the activity in Salt Lake City. That's not the only activity that happened today. Over south of Salt Lake, I want to say about 75 miles, is a place called Mount Pleasant, Utah. This is 13 miles southeast of Mount Pleasant, Utah. We have a 2.47 magnitude earthquake. And west of there, in East Carbon City, we have a 1.23. 1.23. Let's go over here near Mount Pleasant and find out what we can see here. What do we have here? We have an earthquake. This is the Wasatch Mountains here. This is the Wasatch Mountains. This is east of there. Fascinating, huh? Very fascinating. Now, over in East Carbon City, this is Mount Pleasant. Over at East Carbon City, I know we have some drill points for oil and gas. So what I'm going to look for right now is see if we can find any oil and gas within like 7 miles of this earthquake. I don't see any within 7 miles of this earthquake. I see forested area. I see electrical power poles, high tension power lines, but I don't see any Jackson pumps. Nope, I don't see any Jackson pumps anywhere. So this earthquake was probably affiliated with the southern end of the Wasatch Fault, because that's what we see here. And actually, this is on the west end of the Wasatch, the western end of the Wasatch. Okay, let's go over to East Carbon City. These are also in the foothills of a lava field. This is a lava field. Okay, let's see if we can find any oil and gas pumping operations over in this area. I know we've seen them before, but let's see if we can find any for this particular earthquake. No, for this particular earthquake, I don't see any. This earthquake happened 11 miles southeast of East Carbon City. So this is too far south to be part of the oil and gas pumping operation up in East Carbon City. It's 11 miles southeast of there. So that's not going to happen. So this also is probably part of the Wasatch Fault movement. Probably part of the Wasatch Fault movement. Now, south of there, in Monroe, Utah. Now, this earthquake was in conjunction with the Black Rock Desert Volcano. This is in Monroe, Utah, and there's actually 2 earthquakes down here. One, Richfield, Utah, a 2.28, and one is a 1.13 in Monroe. And both of these have to do with this field of magma here, part of the Black Rock Desert Volcano. Part of the Black Rock Desert Volcano. Now, again, I have hiked up in here and I have gone fossil hunting on the Black Rock Desert Volcano. I have split open shale and gotten fossils out of that shale. I'm just checking for something here. No, I don't see it here. I was just checking to see if I could see that. There's a small trailer on that lava field, and I was seeing if I could pull up where that lava field was, where I prospected for fossils, and I don't see it. No, I don't see it. Anyway, that's part of the Black Rock Desert volcano out there. So that's what's going on in Utah. So now we've talked about over along the northern coast of California, talked about those 2 earthquakes over in the Triple Junction area, just north of there, just west of the Cascadia subduction zone. Okay, let's go down to the South Pacific real quick. Now, we're not going to spend a lot of time down here, but I'm going to spend some time down here because I showed you early on a seismogram from New Zealand. That area has been hopping down here north of the North Island. North of the North Island of New Zealand. We've had 2.9 activity. We've had 4.2 activity. There, gosh, doggone it. I wish it wouldn't happen like that. There is the earthquake. 4.2 magnitude earthquake that coincides with that seismogram off the North Island of New Zealand. Here's the North Island. There's the South Island. We have an earthquake up here on the northwestern part of the South Island here, and one on the south end, southwestern end of the South Island over here. In fact, we have one just south of the South Island here. The one in Southland, New Zealand on the southwestern end is a 2.5. And then this earthquake off the southern tip of New Zealand is a 3.69, which is interesting because we have an upper range 3 here. And up here, we have 3s and 4s up off the north end of the North Island. Fascinating, huh? It's very fascinating. Now, we don't have any earthquakes. The White Island volcano has pretty much quieted down. This is the White Island volcano. And yes, this picture was at least a couple years ago. I can't tell from this map how old this picture is. But this is before it exploded. It's before it exploded. That's White Island. Now, we don't have any earthquakes near there. The closest one we have from there is at 4.2 that we pointed out on the seismogram. And it's quite a distance north of the volcano. But that's where I pointed out that seismogram from earlier today. We also had earthquakes over here in Vanuatu again today. We've had a 4.7 and a 4.4 here in Vanuatu. Going over here to Papua New Guinea, we have a 4.4. Now this is west of Vanuatu, 4.4 in Papua New Guinea. Over here in central Indonesia, north central Indonesia, near Pami, Papua, Indonesia, we have a 4.0. And then south of there, we have a 5.2 over in Barat Daya, Indonesia. Barat Daya, south central Indonesia, a 5.2. And then we have aftershocks coming out of around it and north of there. We also have off of Serengeti, the Philippines, Jose Abad Santos had a 3.4 today. And north of Mindanao, Philippines, we had several earthquakes. We had a 3.0 near Burgos, a 3.1, a 3.0, and another one, a 4.7. This 4.7 was here. Mindanao, Philippines is here. Okay. Let's go over towards Taiwan. Here's a 3.1 actually, that's not Taiwan. That is off the island of Luzon, Philippines. There's a 3.1 there. Taiwan is up here. We don't have any earthquakes there. North of Taiwan, south of Japan, we have another 4.7 there. Over on the south end of Japan, we have a 2.5. 2.5 right there. Over off of Honshu, east of Honshu, we have a 3.7. Then just north of Honshu, off the southern tip of Hokkaido, we have another 4.5. We have a series of 4s going from Luzon, Philippines, all the way up here to north of Japan, northern part of Japan. A series of 4s. Fascinating, huh? Then just south of Kamchatka Peninsula, we have another 4.7, east of the Kuril Islands. Again, look where it is. It's on that fault going between Japan and Kamchatka, Russia, going up to join the Aleutian Island chain. 4.7, 4.5, 4.7, 4.7 going north. Where is this earthquake activity going? Right up to the Aleutian Island chain and then east. Okay, over near in the middle portion, the central portion of the Aleutian Islands. Now I got a earthquake notification. This is over near Semi-Sopokonoi volcano. We had a 3.8 magnitude earthquake there this morning. Now this is north of the volcano. This is north of the volcano in the Baltic Sea up there. We have a 3.8. Even though they have it located near Semi-Sopokonoi volcano, it's not at the volcano. And this is 30 miles southwest of Semi-Sopokonoi. So let me show you Semi-Sopokonoi. There we go. Now Semi-Sopokonoi has got lava sitting at the peak of the volcano, at the summit of the volcano. It's been steaming and they've seen lava mass over there. And here is a lake at the top of Semi-Sopokonoi. Now I think this lava lake is gone now because this volcano actually was said to have lava at the peak. Okay, and that looks like it's in the crater. This water lake looks like it's in the crater of the volcano. Okay, now I'm going to back out so you can see where this, I backed out a little bit. The earthquake is right over here. Now I'm going to take this and back out. Okay, you see the volcano here. There is the earthquake, 37 miles south-southwest of Semi-Sopokonoi. Okay, so that's the volcano there in the middle of the Aleutian Island chain. Okay, before we go up into the Aleutian Islands and continue over um, into the United States and continue our talk there. Let's go over to central Chile. We have a 3.0 and a 3.1 just off the coast of central Chile. Just east of there, we have a 3.0, 16 miles northeast of Los Andes, Valparaiso, Chile. Doggone it. Valparaiso, Chile. Okay. North of there, Salta province, Argentina, that continues to get hit with earthquakes. Today we had a 3.6 here. Going north, Calama, Chile, we have a 3.1. And north of there, we have another 3.3. And north of there, we have a 3.2. There's a 3.2. And over north of there, near Arica, Chile, we have a 4.1. So we continue to have 4-pointers up here near Salta province, Argentina, and going all the way up here into northern Chile. Arequipa, Peru, we have a 3.4. Now, when I first was checking this whole thing this morning, I thought that 3.4 was actually going to be another 4, and it was a 3.4 in Arequipa. Fascinating, huh? Over in central Chile, Mala Cojita, Chile, or Carlita, excuse me, Marla Carlita, Chile, we have a 3 points, or Peru, I mean, Marla Carlita, Peru, we have a 3.7 here. Then let's go over here to the east, northeast. Loreto, Peru, we have a 4.1. 4.1. Now, folks, we got away from the earthquake fault right off the coast, and we're going up into the mountains. We've gone up into the mountains. Interesting, huh? What do we have there? We have a craton, folks. We have an inner part of the South American craton. Okay, and it's a 4.1 magnitude earthquake. 4.1 earthquake. Let's go over here to the coast. Northern coast of Peru. Piura, Peru, we have a 4.0. And just south of there, Secura, Peru, we have a 4.6. Right at the coast. 4.1 and a 4.6 right at the coast. Northern Peru. Let's go up a little bit further. Betania, Colombia, we have a 5.1. So we've gone from 3s down in Chile to 4s up in Peru and a 5.1 near the coast of Colombia. 5.1 there. What are these two here? We have a 2.9 and a 2.8 near Santander, Colombia. Okay, let's go over to Venezuela. Up here at the north coast of Venezuela, we have a 3.1 here. And while we're here, let's go over to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico continues to have small and minor earthquakes off the northwest coast of Puerto Rico. Excuse me, not the northwest, the southwest coast of Puerto Rico here. Over here in central Puerto Rico, we have another one. We have a 2.9 near the south. Actually, it's the southeast portion of Puerto Rico, a 2.9 there. And over here off the northwest coast of Puerto Rico, we have a 3.27 and a 3.39. Now these could be considered aftershocks of the 6.3 magnitude earthquake we had here last August in that same area. 6.3 was about right in here. And these are just west of that. Excuse me, east of that. But they're right along the Cayman Trench. They're just south of the Cayman Trench. Over here in the Dominican Republic, we've got a small swarm of earthquakes here. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 earthquakes here. Over in the southeast end, a 2.5. The northeast end, a 3.5, a 3.8, and a 3.2. Central Dominican Republic, we've got a 3.2 and another 3.2. And these are, well, it doesn't even tell the cities. It's just Central Sanchez Ramirez, Dominican Republic, 2 3.2s. And up north along the coast, we have a 3.2. And over on the north side of the Cayman Trench, we have a 3.5 and a 3.3 on the north side of the Cayman Trench there. Going west along the coast, we have a 3.5 and a 3.2. And again, these are on the west side of the Cayman Trench. You can see the Cayman Trench here, on the south side of the Cayman Trench. And we have another one here, just west of there, a 3.4, also on the west side of the trench. Then on the south side of the island here, we have in Haiti a 3.3, a 3.1, and a 2.4. A 3.3, a 2.1, and 2.6 there on the south side in Haiti. Okay. Another south of the Haiti region, we have a 3.2 and a 3.8 here. 3.8 and 3.2. And it continues. Then we go back over here to Central America. Costa Rica, along the coast, southwest coast of Costa Rica. We have 3.2. We have a 3.5. North of there, we have a 3.6. And right along the coast, we have a 3.4. Now there's one other earthquake just east of that, and that's a 3.3. So we have a bunch of threes right there in Costa Rica, south to North Costa Rica. Then we go up the coast a little bit, off the coast of Nicaragua, along what could be termed the San Andreas Fault. We have a 5.2 large earthquake, a 5.2 large earthquake off the coast of Nicaragua. We told you that there's 5 activity coming up, and now it just hit. And then a 3.8 just east of there. Going north, we have a 3.6. Going north, we continue north. Continue north along the fault. This one is over, I want to say, this is near Guatemala. Gosh, can't believe it just disappears. Actually, no, that is southern Mexico. I'm sorry, folks, that was southern Mexico. 3.8s, 3s, 3.9s. Darn it. 3.9 there. Going over here, we can still see 3.5s, just a bunch of threes up and down southern Mexico there. Then we have 20 plus earthquakes. The swarms continue as they go north. Now, we haven't taken a lot of time in southern Mexico recently, but here's a 4.5 right there. We've gone to threes. We've gone actually from that 5 to threes and back up to 4s again. 3.3s, 4.0s, 3.4s, 3.3s, 3.5. So we've had some 4s and 3s, the 3s and 4s through this swarm here. Going north, Acapulco. Acapulco, we have a 3.0 and a 3.8 in Acapulco. Okay, Acapulco. Now this is off the coast of Acapulco. There's Acapulco, folks. That little bay there. Okay. And the earthquake is just off the coast of Acapulco. Beautiful area, absolutely stunning area. Northeast of Acapulco, we have a 3.8. And we go up the coast. And guess what, folks? We don't have anything, nothing at all, the rest of Mexico. The other quakes are in the United States of America. United States of America. Now, before we go back into the United States, the mainland part of the United States, let's go take a look at Alaska and see what we have. Mount Redoubt volcano again. There's a 1.8 at Mount Redoubt. There's a 1.4 just along the coast, just east of Mount Redoubt. And we have a large swarm of earthquakes north of Anchorage. This is Anchorage. All these earthquakes north of Anchorage. Now, let's go here and let's see if we can find an earthquake at the peak of Mount McKinley. No, we can't. They're on the north side of McKinley, 1.4 and a 2.4 north of McKinley. Okay, we have earthquakes going north of Denali National Park, but not many continuing past there. We got ones, Fairbanks, Esther, Alaska, 1.1, Tanana, Alaska, we have a 1.6. Northwest, what do we have? Kobuk, Alaska, where we had a 6.3 this time last year. We have a 1.4 and a 1.3 at Kobuk. And nothing, well, we have one other one over here at Katavik. I wanted to tell you that, I forgot. We have 1.3 over at the north shore of Alaska, near Katavik, Alaska. Katavik, Alaska. Over here is, what do they call that? The, now I can't remember. Anyway, it's on the north shore of Alaska in the oil and gas pumping region. Okay, that's where that is. That's where that is. So this is the first earthquake we've had above the Arctic Circle in quite some time. Let's go back to the Pacific Northwest. We told you about Mount Rainier. We showed you the information about Mount Rainier. Maple Valley, Washington is 0.99. South of there, south of Mount Rainier. We have a 0.69. 0.69 south of Mount Rainier. You can see Mount Rainier here in the distance. South of there, 0.69. We can see Mount St. Helens, but we have no earthquakes on Mount St. Helens. However, remember we saw steaming at Mount Rainier, Mount Baker, and Mount St. Helens. We had some some magma activity. North of Mount St. Helens, Morton, Washington, 22 miles south-southeast of Morton. We have a 0.7, but nothing at Mount St. Helens. Makes you wonder, huh? Makes you wonder. South of Mount St. Helens, Louisville, Washington, 1.39, or Louisville, excuse me, Louisville, Washington, 1.39 there. Okay. And then they don't show us anything until we get to Northern California. There's no earthquakes over here in Oregon. Now we showed you those two earthquakes over at the Triple Junction. We showed you the earthquakes over here at the geysers, and I showed you those two power plants, those two turbine facilities at the geysers. I also showed these earthquakes at Mendocino Hills and the one bunch of swarms over here at Carson City. Let's go down the coast. Let's go down the coast here. See what we see. Alamo, California, 1.27. And a 2.03 at Bryan, California. Bryan, California. Going south. San Martin, 1.09, San Martin. Hollister, California, a 1.58. South of Hollister, the Pinnacles, folks, is 0.79. That is both a volcanic, 0.79 Pinnacles. It's both a volcanic area and a oil and gas pumping area. Just right on the coast, Lopez Point, we have a 2.33. Going back to the San Andreas Fault, Coalinga, California, a 0.76. Now what's over here on the other side of the valley here? I think you know. We've talked about this. Mammoth, folks. Mammoth, we have a large swarm of earthquakes at Mammoth this time. 0.36, 1.37, 0.46, 0.68. Go out just north of the valley, out towards the desert, Tom's Place, a 1.44. And we get out over here to the Longs Valley volcano area, but we don't have any out here in Longs Valley. There's nothing there. But that swarm at Mammoth is interesting, isn't it? Now, for those that have not followed us for a while, what is Mammoth besides a ski area, folks? It's a volcano, the Mammoth Volcano in California. Let's go down further south. This time, folks, we haven't had any earthquakes at Olancha, California in a while, but today we had two, 1.12. Actually, it was just Olancha, California with the 1.12, and then we dropped down to Coza Volcano. Coza Volcano. And there's a bunch of earthquakes just south of Coza. Okay. Coza Volcano. Cozo Junction, wonderful thing. Good old Cozo Junction. Just was looking for dead trees, any fallen trees. No, I don't see any around here. Just was looking for something here. No, it's not what I was looking for. No, wasn't what I was looking for. So Olancha, California, Olancha got hit 65 miles north of where? Ridgecrest, California. Okay. Then south of Cozo, look what happens. We start getting into heavy duty earthquake activity. Little Lake, California. Little Lake, California. 0.24, 0.51, 2.34 Searles Valley. 2.34 Searles Valley. 0.73 Ridgecrest. A 0.81 here. Ridgecrest. See what these other earthquakes around Ridgecrest are. A 2.14, a 1.74, 0.81, and a 1.78 Ridgecrest. Now these are minor quakes, folks. Probably never felt in Ridgecrest, but it still hit Ridgecrest today, all over the Ridgecrest area. Okay, and it hit south of Ridgecrest. Had a small cache of quakes, cache of quakes near Searles Valley, 1.04, 05, 1.08. Going down to the southeast end of Ridgecrest, a 0.55, east southeast of Ridgecrest. A lot of earthquakes, huh? Barstow, California, a 1.76. Now Barstow is directly southwest of Ridgecrest. So Barstow got hit today, 1.76. Okay, let's go back over to the Garlock Fault, Mojave, California, a 1.20. And you can see the fault coming down through here, the Garlock Fault. Over on the west side of the San Andreas here, La Cañada, Flint Ridge, California. La Cañada, Flint Ridge, California, 1.22 today. South of there, also on the fault, Muscoe, 1.16, Loma Linda, a 1.38. That's Glen Avon right here. Glen Avon's right here, right by Loma Linda. Calamasa, 1.89. Over on the east end, Yucca Valley, we had a 1.58 today. Now we're getting over to Riverside. Valley Vista, 0.60. Palomar Observatory dropping down into San Diego, California. We skipped over the Anza Gap area. Skipped over the Anza Gap. We go over to Palomar Mountain. Come on. Here's Palomar Observatory, 0.61. 0.61. Let's see here. Warner Springs, North San Diego County, 0.83. Showed you Palomar Mountain. We have Lake Henshaw got hit by fishing spot east of Escondido, 0.62 at Lake Henshaw. South over in Julian, 0.99 today in Julian, south of Borrego Springs. Julian, California, being the apple capital of California. San Diego, apple capital of San Diego, excuse me. Okay, now we don't have any earthquakes here in San Diego County anymore here. However, let's go jump down to south of the Salton Sea. Okay, south of the Salton Sea. This is the Salton Butte volcano right here. This is Nyland, San Andreas, or the Imperial County, the Imperial Fault, San Andreas Imperial Fault right here. We drop down to Brawley, California. Brawley, California. A 1.58. Brawley, California, where the first church on the right, where the Reverend Jack is, the first church on the right in Brawley, California, a 1.59. Okay, now I make fun of them. I make fun of Brawley. I told you in Holtville, California, back in high school, many years ago, we did a debate tournament. Brawley isn't that far from Holtville, and I have friends in Brawley, California. And I make fun of Brawley, California, the fictitious character of the Reverend Jack at the first church on the right in Brawley, California. It's an old joke, a comedy routine from the Hudson and Bauer Singers, Hudson and Bauer team, radio team at the old KFMB radio station in San Diego. Great radio team. Both of Joe Bauer and Matt Hudson are both passed away a long time ago. Great people. Great people. Okay, just across the border. Just across the border. What do we have here? We have an earthquake. South of Cerro Prado. South of Cerro Prado. We have a 2.65. 2.65. What do we have up here? The Cerro Prado volcano. There it is, folks. There's a phoenix carved in the top of the Cerro Prado volcano. Okay. The earthquake. Is south of there. There's the earthquake. There's the Cerro Prado volcano. Here is the geothermal pumping station that pulls steam out of the Cerro Prado volcano. Fascinating, huh? You get a science lesson. You get a science lesson when you come here, because we teach you about geothermal power plants that line up with volcanoes. Volcanoes, imagine that. Imagine that. Anyway, that's what's over there. Cerro Prado volcano, a geothermal power plant over there with the volcano, and today just south of there, probably affiliated with that volcano because it's not more than a couple of miles away from the volcano. But that's what's going on. That's what's happening. Now, we haven't talked about anything but the western part of the United States. But there's more to it than that. Pecos, Texas, over by Mentone, Texas. Remember that? You had earthquakes at Mentone lately? Texas today, Pecos, Texas, had a 2.60. 2.60 at Pecos, Texas. Let's go north. What happened up here to the north? Oklahoma. Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain, and the blazing wheat, it sure smells sweet as the wind comes right behind the rain. Oh, yes. Okay, enough. Helena, Oklahoma, 1.85. Southeast of there, Stroud, Oklahoma. Doggone it. Stroud, Oklahoma, 1.50. And southeast of there, Quinton, Oklahoma. Again, Quinton, Oklahoma comes up all the time. Here's a 1.89 at Quinton, Oklahoma as well. All right. There were no earthquakes. Come on. There were no earthquakes in the south or the eastern part of the United States. Nothing there. The only earthquakes we had was over here in Oklahoma. Okay. That's what's going on. So now you have it. Now you have it. We had some earthquakes over here in Europe. Some earthquakes over here in Europe. Yes, that happened. And in the Middle East, we had some earthquakes in the Middle East. 20 earthquakes over in the Greece area, Western Turkey, Greece had some minor earthquakes there. These are minor 2.4, 2.2 Mugli, Dokkanes islands of Greece over by Turkey, a 3.3. Just minor stuff. Southern Italy, Calabria, Italy, a 2.4, and Basilicata, a 2.0. I have a feeling Basilicata might have a basilica there, a Catholic basilica. Central Italy, we have two earthquakes, Lazio, a 3.0, and also in Marcia, Italy, a 2.2. Northern Italy, up here near, well, it's south of the border of France and Spain, or not France, Spain, France and Switzerland. We have a couple earthquakes here, three actually. We have a 2.8, a 2.5, and a 2.4 here in Northern Italy. Emilia Romagna, Italy. Emilia Romagna, Italy. 3 minor small quakes there. And then we have nothing over in France except off the France border in the English Channel. A 3.3 there today. Okay. Over in one of the groups I belong to, we mentioned this earthquake today. The English Channel got hit, a 3.3 just south of London. South of London, closer to the France border. South of London got hit. Over in the south of Spain, we had some other earthquakes here. South of Spain, 2.3, 2.0. Portugal, a 1.6 today. Portugal, off the coast of Portugal, a 2.8, and also Cabo de San Vicente, Azores, a 2.8 today. 2.8. Down here in the Canary Islands, we had a 1.6. And then we've got an earthquake out here in the middle of the Pacific. And USGS and the EMC or EMSC has this earthquake in the Azores, but it's closer to the North Mid-Atlantic Ridge here, the North Mid-Atlantic Ridge. Okay, there's no Azore Islands out there. It's closer to the North Mid-Atlantic Ridge. Actually, I'm sorry. East of that earthquake, I guess there are some Azore Islands there. My bad. But it's, like I said, it's closer to the North Mid-Atlantic Ridge. This earthquake was a 3.2, a small 3.2 earthquake out here. Now we have had some large earthquakes north of there, and we have had some small, or excuse me, a large earthquake down here in the South Sandwich Islands early this morning. We had a 5.1 here in the South Sandwich Islands early this morning. But that's where we have it. Now you've given me an hour and a half, and well over an hour and a half, and I showed you the world. How about that? How about that? We showed you the world. Now, the only place we have not talked about is over on the big island of Hawaii. We still have earthquakes occurring down here in Pahala, south of Kilauea. We have 1.9s, 1.99, 1.89, 2.15 down here in Pahala. And we have nothing at all up at Kilauea, nothing anywhere near Kilauea. We have one earthquake over near Volcano, Hawaii, over near Fern Acres, a 2.4. And this is the East Rift Zone from Kilauea. Kilauea being north, down, well, and up here in the East Rift Zone. Fern Acres, we have that 2.4 today. Then over here north of Mauna Kea, up near the coast, the north coast of the Big Island, we have a 2.49. Mauna Kea is up here. Okay, and then down here south of Mauna Loa. This is Mauna Loa here. Over on the west side of the volcano, on the west flank, we have a 1.36. The west flank of Mauna Loa, we have 1.36. So nothing really going on the Big Island. Okay, the earthquake swarms that we've seen over around Mauna Loa and Kilauea and over off of Pahala have calmed down for the time being. The only real earthquakes we've had is a large earthquake over near the North Mariana Islands at 5.2. 5.2 there. Over in off the coast in Central America, we had another 5 here. We had a 5.2 off the coast of Nicaragua, the west coast of Nicaragua. Over in Colombia, we had a 5.1. And we've had that earthquake over here, large earthquake over in the South Sandwich Islands. We've had 4 5s today. Now, while I still have time, I've got 8 minutes left of this program. We have a planetary alignment to deal with today, tomorrow, and through the 5th of the month. Then we have another one coming up the 8th of the month. And then another one coming up the 9th, the 12th, and the 15th. Okay? A planetary alignment today involving Jupiter, Saturn, and Jupiter, Saturn, and I think it's Neptune. Anyway, there's three planetary alignments, and they're in a 90-degree angle, just like this. They're at 90-degree angles. Now, if you want to go to Deuterium, to his YouTube channel, you can hear all about it. He'll show you the planetary alignments. And this is a critical planetary alignment. This planetary alignment that's happening today, tomorrow, and up and through the 5th, I believe it is. It's a critical planetary alignment because it's in a 90-degree angle. And he was saying this morning, it was early this morning, he put out a broadcast, this could result in a 6 to an upper 7 or 8 magnitude quake. So now we're looking for that. We're looking for that. We're still looking for a very large earthquake down in Southern California. We're looking for another one off of the Cascadia area. We're going to keep a very close eye on both areas. We showed you tonight the swarms of earthquakes happening in Southern California. We showed you 2 minor quakes over in the Triple Junction area, and the earthquakes that have been happening over in Washington, Idaho, and Salt Lake City. We're keeping an eye on it. Now, I also believe that we may have earthquake seismic energy coming out of Idaho, running south directly into Salt Lake City. We're going to watch that. We may have large activity or almost large activity down in Salt Lake City. And we're seeing earthquake activity going from the Magna, Utah area at the West Valley Fault over to west of Salt Lake City near the Wasatch foothills, near the Wasatch Fault. We're going to be watching that. So that's what's going on, folks. That's what's happening. We wanted you to be aware of it. We don't like surprises, do we? Nope, I don't. I don't like surprises any more than the next guy. But I don't want anybody to be taken by surprise and somebody hurt because they don't know what's going on. Tonight, we have showed you, and we almost were not able to show you seismograms because the dadgum Pacific Northwest Seismic Network had their seismograms down. They showed no image. They showed no image. So given that, we're watching it. We got to see seismograms. We got to talk about Cascadia tonight, and we're still watching for a large earthquake off of Cascadia, and it could happen. It could very well happen where we have the large earthquake up off the Juan de Fuca, up the north end of the fault, just like Terry had said before. Let's see what happens. If you remember, right, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, we had those 7s off the northwest side of Vancouver Island. It could happen again. Let's watch and see what's going on. Now, I'm going to go over, after this broadcast, I'm going to go over to the Emergency Management Associates channel and talk to you over there. For those of you that missed this broadcast tonight, I'm going to go over there very shortly and talk to them. So, folks, I hope you have a great night. I really hope that we've learned a little bit about earthquakes tonight and what is going on. We have listeners and viewers from around the world, and we've talked about earthquakes a little bit all over the world tonight. I hope we've learned something. Let's keep our eyes peeled. Let's keep our ears open, and let's work together on getting prepared. We also have coronavirus stuff that I wasn't able to cover tonight. But we've got a lot of stuff going on with the coronavirus. The government has asked for body bags to be on the ready. They've ordered them from the DOD military, and they've ordered 100,000 body bags. Okay. Now, before we leave the air, in regards to the coronavirus, over in New Jersey, some people were arrested for having a corona party. I want to tell you, do not have any coronavirus parties. Police broke up a gathering of 47 people in a 550 square foot apartment in Ewing Township, New Jersey. They cited the owner for having violated Governor Murphy's ban on social gatherings issued last week. Please, no more Corona parties. Please. We don't want to see anybody go to jail. We don't want to see anybody having to go to court after this whole thing is done, or when there's an ebb and flow from this virus. Okay. And where our numbers have gone out the roof. Don't do it, please. Okay. Everyone, do know that I love you, and I ask the Lord to bless you. As Walter Cronkite would say, and that's the way it is. Today, April 2nd, Thursday, 2020. For Emergency Management Associates, this is Ron Tyler. Have a great night, folks. Good night, everybody. Thank you.